Hello, so now we take our measurements from the edge of the pattern paper. First, we take our vertical measurement, which is the length of the skirt you're about to make. Mine is 22 plus 1 inch hemming allowance, that's 23 inches. I'm going to be marking 22 and 23, so you can see clearly the extra 1 inch I'm adding. Then make sure you make your mark at both ends of the paper in order to have a perfect straight line. Next, after this, you're going to take your waist to hip measurement. Mine is 9 inches. I'm taking this at the edge of at both ends of the paper to have a perfect straight line. Next, you take your waist measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that and 2 inch sewing allowance. Mine is 8 plus 1 inch, 9 plus 2 inch, that's 11 plus 2 inches. Okay, after this, on the hip line, we take my hip divided by 4 plus 2 inch sewing allowance. Mark it. Then on the hem line, you take your hip divided by 4 minus 1.5. Your hip divided by 4, so it has that, so it will have that perfect pencil. Then remember to put your 2 inch sewing allowance. Then for the top part, because we added 1 inch for that, I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. I'll take it at the waistline, come down a bit and take it again. I'm always doing this to have a perfect straight line. Then I go down by 4 inches. Go down by 4 inches, connect with your straight rule. Then that extra 1 inch, you divide it, half inch on both sides of the line. Half inch on both sides of the line. Then you connect it as so. Then after you're done, with your curve rule, at point 18 resting on the hip line, you connect it to your waistline, like so. Then with your straight rule, you connect it to your hemline. To avoid the pointy edge, I'm going to try to smoothen that edge. I don't want it so pointy. Now this is your front pattern. You see, so simple. Okay, when we are done, we cut out your front pattern. When you're done cutting out your front pattern, you're going to bring a new fresh sheet for your back pattern. Okay, now we'll place the front pattern on the fresh sheet, but first off, we'll mark 2 inches away from the edge. This is for our zip allowance. My ruler is already 2 inches wide. That's why I used my ruler. So when you place it 2 inches away from the edge, with that 2 inch being the zip allowance, then you try to mark out the hemline. Try to mark out the hemline with your straight rule before cutting, please, so you don't make mistakes. Then you cut. When you're done, you can unpin to create your dart for the back. But before then, go down by 1 inch on the front pattern alone and connect it back to the waistline. This is because our front is usually lower than our back. On the front pattern alone. Do this before unpinning. And when you're done, you go, this is your back pattern. Then when you're done, you go in by your nipple to nipple divided by 2 again. This is to create the dart for the back pattern as you created for the front pattern. So, but you measure this after the zipper allowance. Remember, the 2 inches is for zip, so you go after the zipper allowance. Remember, make your mark up and down in order to get a perfect straight line. Then go down by 5 inches for the back. Use your ruler to create a straight line. Then the extra 1 inch, divide it half inch at both sides of the line to create your dart. Now you connect as so. I think our work here is done. Now, please remember, we are creating this on a pattern paper, but when you're making it on your fabric, make sure you're cutting your front pattern on fold. Make sure you're cutting your front pattern on fold. Your back can be cut on fold too, but know that you'll be splitting it open at the zipper part. You can split it open at the zipper part. Thank you.